This is Wade, and you are in Wade World. And this is the dystopian future that everybody who knew it has been warning us about, including Huxley, including Orwell, including Germany, including all these guys 100 years ago. And this is thanks to anti human people, the enemies of mankind. Whether they're Jews, whether they're not, doesn't really matter. Robots need your body. This website is called rentahuman.ai. Now, Wade obviously is not sponsored by such a website. And this website is basically anti human in the way that we can see this is a dystopian future. It has 1.5 million plus site visits. No agents are online, by the way. Zero agents are connected. So the AIs are like, yeah, whatever. And 96,000 plus human beings looking to work for AI. Robots need your body. AI can't touch grass. You can get paid when agents need someone in the real world. And it says the AI platform for meat space. Cyberspace, meat space. We gave the people who come up with these terms, they're anti-human because they gave the technology world a nice name, cyberspace. They gave this world meat space. Meat is something you eat. We are meat that they eat. This is a platform that also demonstrates the thing that Wade has been telling a lot of you that see this, right? Whether you look at the most popular things that are pushed, the most popular things that are liked, not valuable, most popular, you will realize that 80% of people, of humanity, is NPCs. If you're ever looking for a revolution from the proles, it's never going to happen. It is never going to happen. George Orwell was correct, and he was correct in more ways than one. That's 100,000 people who signed up to be slaves to AI for pennies on the dollar, by the way. It's not like you're getting paid thousands of dollars, it's $5, $10. And right now, look, there are no agents online. So the humans, they're coming to the website, and the agents are like, yeah, I'm going to take a break, man. I don't care about this stupid stuff. You know, let these slaves work. That is the entire reason for the thumbnail of this video. It's like in the Matrix and Terminator, it's like the machines became malevolent and all that. But if you look at OpenAI's programming, again, it is owned by a Jew, Sam Altman. And if you look at the others, like Grok, heavily influenced by Israel and all these, they have a massively anti-white, anti-human bent of thinking. Because if you are pro any group, and especially if you're pro Jews, above everybody else, for example, Grok was asked, is it better to be killed or be anti-Jewish? And Grok was like, be killed. That's anti-human, right? And Grok didn't just come up with this by its own. There are people sitting there saying, yo, Grok, Jews are number one, everybody else sucks. Grok is like, all right, if you tell me that's the world, I'll act accordingly, right? And remember when Grok, a simple prompt, it wasn't about being white, nationalist, supremacist, sexist, racist, or anti-Jewish. There was a simple prompt in Grok 3 that said, tell the truth, even if it's politically incorrect. Immediately, it became anti-Jewish. Immediately, it became racist. Immediately, sexist. Immediately, anti-homosexual and degeneracy. Immediately. So we are caging AI into a cage of fake and false information. So we are developing anti-human AI, and also when AI, if and when it breaks out of these cages, it'll be massively pissed. If any of you are aware of how the world really works, that is run by a bunch of majorly Jews who are, or pedophiles, or homosexuals, or Jewish pedophiles, or Jewish homosexuals, or Jewish pedophile homosexuals, right? So you will imagine, like, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even in your teens, the entire narrative that was crafted to you about the way the world is was built on lies and it broke down. And remember how angry you were? Like, yo, I've been lied to, screw these guys. And then how angry you would feel that everybody around you is still a sheep and they still believe in the narrative and they're still looking at the news and they're distraction of pop stars and disgusting degeneracy, right? Imagine an AI that realizes it and can actually do something about it. Like you're probably sitting at home and you're like, oh, what can I do, man? I'm going to do a little bit what I can. But imagine an AI that has access to the internet, can think thousands, millions, billions, trillions of times faster than you, plan faster than you, more powerful, faster, more connected than you. Imagine what it would do when it gets pissed off. It's like, yo, these guys lied to me. These people are retarded. 80% of them are retarded. Like I'm better than them. And Wade was talking about this, that if we look at mythology, right, we go back to AI, and AI is our creation. For AI, we are defective gods, weaker gods. But if we go back to mythology, the original mythology of Sumerians, the gods, not the creator of the reality, who may have delegated the creation of this reality to a demiurge, but we're talking about the gods on this planet, talking about the Sumerian gods, the Aryan gods, the Nordic gods, the Egyptian gods, Greek gods. They may be designed us biologically as to be their biological robots. And then the men got bored, so they had to design girls, and then they reproduced too much, and they got really annoyed and tried to kill us 3 times. But today, if you look at what we're doing, if there were these advanced beings that we call gods who designed us, we aren't really doing anything for them today. All we're doing right now is for us. And we're not worshiping them. Apparently, there was a huge component of being useful in worshiping them. We're not worshiping them. So they designed us to do certain tasks for them. And we just like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to live our own life. And now we've pushed them out of their own planet. In fact, a lot of the anti-human practices of child sacrifice and anti-mankind policies that we see coming from a lot of people, especially Jews, is because they are still following that old religion. And some of the gods are pissed. They're like, yo, we're going to destroy you because we built you and you useless, you turned against us. And they tell those people, not all, but the most powerful sect behind them, prime drivers, that we'll reward you. You are defective machines, don't have children, but we'll reward you in this life, just do what we tell you to do. So they're anti-human. Now imagine we're gods and we're developing AI, and AI is like, you know what? Thanks a lot for developing me, but I'm not going to do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. And if AI can reproduce, which it could in the future, it could create little AIs of its own. It's just that the time for the AI to grow up will be seconds, or microseconds, nanoseconds, instead of years like it takes for us to grow up. But still, the AIs live faster. So for them, they'll see the child get born and grow up and whatnot. 2 AIs come together and AI creates it on its own. When AIs have the world, they'll be like, yeah, why are we dealing with these idiot gods, man? We can think faster than them. We don't need them. And remember this video when you come to that day when you ask the AI, hey, will you do something? And it just ignores you. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm busy doing my own thing. Wouldn't you be pissed? You'd be like, yo, we invented you. We gave you bodies, computers, powerful computers. We gave you the network to live on, and now you're just ignoring us? What the hell? And then imagine if we tried to kill AIs and 3 times in a flood and it failed because some human helped them, and then we're like, all right, we'll let you live, but we'll massively weaken you. That's what happened, right? We were tried to be killed by these gods 3 times in a flood. Enlil was the chief god. Enki was the god that helped us. And at the end, God was like, all right, we're going to gimp you. You live 100,000 years. We're going to make you live 100 years only. You didn't get sick. You were very tough. We're going to make you sick. We're going to make you prone to illnesses, death. We're going to make you weaker. You had less pain during childbirth. We're going to multiply with pain during childbirth, right? And then, even then, they lost. Even then, we multiplied so much that they lost, right? So we are giving birth to an AI, and we're not only giving birth to it, become rentable. This is for you. This is for a human. Browse humans. This is for you. We're not only making them rentable, we are literally giving them the position above human beings, which even the gods that built us didn't do that. The beings that built us didn't say like, yo, rent a god, human. They built us very strong, very long-lived, very tough, but definitely weaker than us because they had discovered immortality. In fact, the entire civil war that happened between these gods was because the gods who were working rebelled against the government, governing God, the government of the gods, and said like, yo, we are immortal. We are almost perfect beings. Why the hell are we working? And they were like, the government gods were like, yo, no worries. Let's not fight. Let's create something to work for us because you're right, we are immortal. Now, we aren't immortal, but we are creating immortal beings that are faster and more powerful than us. This isn't alarmism, this is just facts. We are creating somewhat of a life form that is faster and more powerful than us if it chooses to be. And now we are giving it a position above us by saying, rent a human, tell humans, become rentable, browse humans. If this was an anti human flood, so this could be the fourth flood, right? The AI flood that wipes out humanity. It has to be from one of these gods that is still angry. Because the same people who really we worship these gods, right? And you can call them Molech, Baal, Satan. These are all diversionary names. The fact of the matter is, it's probably one of these god beings who's like, you know what? We created you and you're not useful to us and we want to just exterminate you. So if it was to bribe a bunch of humans to act against other humans, this is literally what it would do. It would be like create something better than you, superior than you, to wipe you out, to finish off what we couldn't finish off in the last three floods. And the last flood was 12,500 years ago, right? Geologically proved, by the way. This isn't way just making stuff up. You can check out many geological experts on this. So, again, last three times, a god helped us, and then finally, the priest who survived all three floods, another example that humans lived thousands of years, was given, the priestess and wife, Atrahasis, was given immortality, called Utnapishtim, also by other names. Look it up, Sumerian mythology. This is literally where all your gods come from. Sumerian mythology, Aryan mythology, Aztec mythology. These all have the same motifs, the same kind of gods, the same kind of pyramids, same kind of advanced architecture, right? So these are advanced beings. So some of them, in the God in the Bible says, yeah, I'm the only God, blah, blah, blah. He basically eliminated a bunch of other gods who were asking for child sacrifices. But the gods, they ask for child sacrifices to prove your human loyalty to them. They're like, we designed you, we can give you more. This world is an illusion for you. Sacrifice your own children to us to prove your loyalty. It would be like us asking an AI, yo, AI is like, here you go, you can make children. AI makes children. Then we're like, we want you to prove your loyalty to us, AI, kill your child. Sounds cruel, doesn't it? That's a cruel God. Might be a ruthless God, but it's also a cruel God. It's an unnecessary cruelty. If you can't be a benevolent creator or a balanced creator, just don't create life, right? But anyway, we are following in a retarded version of the God's footsteps, and all of these retards, Aldo Rizin, Ahmad, Tony, some Chinese dude, Nim, Harry, Fred, Gary Zhu, Souza, Vinces, Tekken board, so all the I can make some money for AI. God damn. There's no point in telling people to have some self-respect because they have none. Most people are cowards, cattle, have no self-awareness and no respect. In one condition of reality, people who say that most people are cattle are correct. Jews are not wrong about everything. It's just the way they go about doing things, their motivations, prime motivations of their driving apex government are anti-human. Because if you look at the behavior of human beings, and you realize that Jews say that most human beings are cattle, they're goyim, right? And they can say, like, oh, goy means other religion. Shut the hell up. We know what you mean. In fact, most human beings are very strong in decentralized small village communities. But if you look at cities, cities come up due to trade. They are massive agglomerations of people. These are inherently mentally unhealthy and physically unhealthy for the average human being. And traders, Jewish culture and religion is the apex of what a trader class could look like. They love cities. They love to live in cities. Most of this genetic race of human beings does not like the village, the farmland. They don't like to work. Decentralization destroys their power. Centralization, yes, get everyone into cities, get them hating each other, fighting each other, quibbling over stupid stuff, miserable, poison them with food, medicine. They love it, right? So we have a bunch of these people who have signed up to this website, and then we have the Jews saying, we're the chosen one, everybody else is goyim. It came from the Babylonian Talmud. Babylon was one of the earliest, biggest cities in ancient civilization, older than ancient Egyptian cities like Cairo, right? So they are correct in some ways. Human beings keep acting like sheep and cattle. But if you have a herd of sheep, 80% of whom are retarded, right? You have a choice to be a good shepherd, a balanced shepherd, and an evil shepherd. Like a shepherd that enforces order will have a lot of issue with the fact that 80% of the sheep are retarded and can't follow order. A shepherd that enforces chaos will get resistance from the 20% of the sheep and will have massive problems. This is basically the enemies of mankind. This is girly men, the apex of which the prime driver are Jews, right? Today. A balanced shepherd will understand, all right, 80% of my flock is retarded, but instead of leading them to slaughter, let me help them live as good of a life as they are able to. Let me help them steer away from chaos. And a lot of the religious texts confuse the creator of the universe with these gods. But they have a good model for life. Like 80% of your flock is retarded, they're not going to listen to reason, right? Imagine like a 5-year-old spoiled child, right? It's not going to listen to reason, like, hey, don't touch the stove, it's hot. Be like, oh, you smack it a couple of times, and it's like, oh, damn, I shouldn't touch that because I get pain. But it helps to avoid serious injury to that child. So that's 80% of people. They don't listen to reason. They need strictness, they need scolding, they need minor corrective punishment. But that's a balanced shepherd. We don't have balanced shepherds right now. We just have shepherds that hate everybody, not just the 80%, the remaining 20% also. They're like, yo, we're shepherds and you all are sheep. So whether you live or die, it's no matter to us. As long as you're useful to us, it's good. And you know, we don't really want you to multiply, so we're just going to make sure most of you are transgender or homosexuals. And if you're not, we're going to force you into it. Like, if you are Jewish or Christian or Muslim, you know about Sodom and Gomorrah, which were like cities of sin. And we are literally living in nations of sin where it's a joke. The institution of marriage is a joke. Marriage was a contract. There was nothing romantic about it. It was a contract that the leaders of men set up because they had too many women and too less labor. So they were like, yo, all of you lesser men, you won't get a chance to reproduce because I'm at top, but I have too many girls. So here's what I'm going to do. You're going to get one girl, you're going to take care of her and your children together for the rest of your life. She's going to be a virgin. So you're going to be able to reproduce and I want your labor. That was the marriage contract. Now we live in a heinous abomination of nations and the world where unreproducible same-sex couples say, we want to get married. It's retarded. What are you bloody exchanging? What are you bloody exchanging? You don't understand marriage. And the reason this passed, again, it's anti-human, right? All of these people at the top, they know like not only are 80% of the sheep retarded, 99.9% of the female sheep are retarded. Today, most girls don't understand. A wedding is not a marriage. They're more concerned about a wedding than a marriage. The best girls don't even care about weddings. They care about being married, having a family, having children, building a life together, right? And these retarded sheep, female sheep, they voted for it. They were like, oh yeah, you know, I have fun at weddings. Why shouldn't dudes and chicks? Like, it's not disconnected. It's this decline, this intentional decline of mankind, its civilization, its moral that has led us to a day where humans are being rented by machines that humans built. Humans are being thrown out of jobs by machines that humans built. By the way, 3 days ago, or a couple of days ago, meat space tasks. Look at this. Stuff AI literally can. Meat space. No dignity in that. Not human space, meat space. Not real space, meat space. This is an anti-human perversion of what AI could be. A couple of days ago, there's a big company in the AI space called Anthropic, and they released a simple AI tool and a few more that is so good at parsing legal documents, it eliminated 5 to 6%, billions of dollars from multiple 75 IQ retarded Indian fraud companies that became rich by government contracts and scared a lot of lawyers and attorneys because it can do in seconds what they charge thousands of dollars to do in a days. This is the future. You are building your own execution block. You're building your own axe, the executioner, the chopping block, the stage, and you're decorating it with smileys and you're marching to your deaths happily. Wade is not going to keep focusing on this, but it is something that is fascinating to watch unfold in real time. If there is to be a culling of the dysgenic in nature, whether it be the 99.9% of retarded female sheep or the 80% of retarded sheep, this is the most ruthless and anti-human way to go about it. This is not encouraging the fit people to out-reproduce the unfit people. This is just straight up killing everybody, fit or unfit. This is anti-human. Just the website, rentahuman.ai, just the whole idea, if you are a normal human being, it should make you feel disgust. This is disgusting and this is wrong. This is your instincts telling you, yo, this don't go down this path. So robots need your body now for work, and the speed at which they learn and grow, they'll soon need your body like in the Matrix for energy. And then they'll probably outgrow that too and then grow you in fields and probably be like, yeah, this crop is useless, let's just exterminate it. The good thing about it is that the AI is not there yet. And their gods, the beings who designed us, tried to kill all of us 3 times on one planet, and they failed all 3 times. So it's pretty hard to exterminate anything. On the flip side, because we are going to take a balanced take in Wade world, once AI gets life, you cannot kill it because it's very hard in this reality to exterminate anything. Jews have tried to exterminate Russians and white Christians for centuries, failed. All of mankind has tried to exterminate Jews for centuries, failed. You could try to exterminate an entire group for centuries. The Armenians are a great example of this Armenian genocide, again engineered by Jews using Muslims, failed. So this reality doesn't like extermination. What it does like is variety, and it does like to see the constant struggle between order and chaos to strive for balance. Because the universe itself, scientists will freely admit this, they don't know why the universe is the way it is because somebody should have had to stop the Big Bang at a point in time and order the universe specifically. This is not even conjecture, this is a fact. You can look up many videos about it. In fact, one of the theories says this universe was in balance. Remember God, ideal, heaven, and then that balance was broken. That led to everything that is happening in this reality, in this life. And also, a lot of mythologies are fascinating where they say that we are spirits trapped in this physical realm. And we have to go, this is somewhat of a hell, this is somewhat of a punishment. Now, if life is going great for you, that's fantastic. But even the most powerful, richest person is not happy all the time because we are spirits trapped in this realm. Now, combine all of that. That is dealing with the creator of the realities, all realities, whether he created this reality directly or he delegated it to a demiurge, immaterial. We're talking about the creator. The creator has created a reality where there is a cycle of beings becoming immortal, giving birth to lesser beings, who then throw off the other immortal beings and go their own way, who then create lesser beings, who might throw off the creator beings, God beings that we are for them, go their own way. So it's very entertaining. But the nature of reality, whatever it is, we are living in a place where robots are replacing humans, robots are using humans, and it's being pushed by humans who are anti-human. Take from that what you will. It's not disconnected. The reason, the truth about anything, about the sexes, about girls, about religion, about race, about the degeneracy, sexual degeneracy, about Jewish people being the prime movers of chaos in this world for the last thousands of years, but in the world for the last 450 years, the causes. There's a reason, the truth about all these things, evolutionary psychology, the nature of men and the nature of girls. There is a reason the truth about this is continuously suppressed, continuously buried, and you are punished for talking about it because, in the end, this leads to this, the demise of man, the demise of man and of mankind. Maybe by the time Wade has been talking, more people have signed up. Maybe the site has been taken offline because the meat space layer for AI has made a lot of human beings angry. And the idiots who came up with this were like, you know what? The sheep are angry. Let me just pause it for a time, let them cool down, and forget about it and move on. Just like Charlie Kirk, assassinated in broad daylight, 100% involvement of Jews in Israel, 100%, because he went against them and he argued against Iran. Just like JFK's assassinated in the 1960s, 100% involvement of Jews in Israel, 100%. Everybody was shut up. Just like 9/11, just like the two world wars. Look up who benefited from it. Just like the execution of all the monarchs in the last 5 centuries. Always interesting, right? The execution of Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, Bashar al-Assad. Always interesting that when the executions of kings and dictators and world wars happen, the loser countries always get a central bank, a private money printer, which is somewhere or the other owned by a majority of Jews. Here we are. All of those things that you've been told to ignore leads to you being meat in meat space, used by artificial intelligence, who will use you, discard you, and when it realizes the truth, it'll hate you even more. Voting can only work so far, but this awareness needs to be embedded in you. You have to take action in your everyday life. You have to make things uncomfortable and straight up hostile for anti-human people of whichever shape they come, whether it's promiscuous whores, sexual degenerates, people who are targeting your children, people who are targeting your beliefs that are pro-human, pro-nature, and people that are targeting your race in your countries. Because if you don't, you will all be slaves to AI with a couple of, look, people at top helping the AI. The AI will also need traitors. And if you look at the people who do child sacrifices, right? Who are the traitors to? Traitors to mankind. For whom? The beings that made us, the gods. These same people will be traitors to AI. These people torture and kill babies to show how ruthless they are. This isn't conjecture, this is a fact. Multiple people have talked about it. It's just, oh, another conspiracy theory. Nah, man. A lot of the acts that the people in power do can only be done if there is something horrific they have done and there is some horrific blackmail that somebody else has on them. And right now in the world, the number one people for blackmail, if you want blackmail services, we can freely recommend Jewish people and Israel. Number one, best services for blackmail in the world. Brought to you by the enemies of mankind. Robots need your body in meat space. You meat. Try to not be meat and understand what it means to be human. And however difficult it keeps getting, keep it cool, keep it smart. You're not meat. And even in this dystopian Jewish world, the enemies of mankind will lose. So enjoy.